Okay, you guys, so I'm trying to figure out how best to teach you about taking notes. I know that taking notes is pretty hard for people. You want to make sure you're using your very own words when you're taking notes for a book report. So this is what I want you to think about. Whatever book you're choosing, um, you're ultimately going to write a report on the book that you're choosing. And your report is going to be information out of the book. So you want to make sure that your note cards are super organized. And this is how I want you to do it. So I'm asking you on your book report, the paper that I sent home in your bags, I also sent home notes. I would like to see at least 13 note cards. I know it says 12 on there, but your first note card is just going to have this. So the example I used is a book called Mountains and Deserts. So this is a really good nonfiction book. There's lots of information in here. I'm just going to stick on the mountains part of it when I think about the report I'm going to write. So I'm still writing down the whole title of the book. So it's called Mountains and Deserts and by Gerard Cheshire. So on your first note card, I want you to write source number 1. And that always goes in the upper right-hand corner, just like I told you on the paper I sent home. So source number 1 is on the right-hand corner in every one of these notes you'll be taking for your book report, because this is the source. A source is something that you're getting information out of, all right? So your source, number 1, is going to be your book report, the book that you chose for your report. So I wrote the title and author on it. When I look through my book, these are the pages that are all about the mountains. All right. So this one is titled Mountain Meadows, and this book is really kind of cool. It's a double book. So you turn it the other way to read it. This is about mountain peaks, and I know you can't read this. And this one is about just mountains in general. These are about forests of the mountains. And this side is about the tree line. So those are the pages of the book that I'm reading. So, oftentimes in nonfiction books, you're not reading it from cover to cover. You're reading parts of it. And it doesn't mean like 2 minutes worth of it. I mean, you want to learn lots more than you even think about writing down in your notes. So I tried to go ahead and set this up so I can show you just a small part of it. So this is from one of the pages, and it's about some of the animals that live in mountain areas. And this one's called a yellow-bellied marmot. So notice in the upper right-hand corner, I still have source number 1. That's going to be the same on all of my source cards. The only thing I'm going to put on each different note card is one topic. So the only thing I'm writing about on this note card is about yellow-bellied marmot. So as you can see here, I zoomed in on it. It says marmots are sometimes called groundhogs. They are chubby, ground-living rodents of the squirrel family. Marmots make burrows and feed on a variety of vegetation, including roots, stems, and bulbs. Yellow-bellied marmots take turns keeping a lookout for predators. When threatened, a marmot lets out a call so the others can all scurry to safety. That's kind of cool, and there's the picture of it. So now I'm going to put this in my own words, and let me tell you, I have read this paragraph several times. All right, it's not just once, and then I throw down some things. So it's hard when you have something in front of you to put it in your own words without copying the words. So what I'm encouraging you to do on these note cards is no sentences, just words and short phrases. All right, so yellow-bellied marmots, this is the part I'm remembering, so I'm not even looking at it right now. They're rodents, okay? They're sometimes called groundhogs. They're part of the squirrel family. They eat bulbs. What else do they eat? Stems, roots. Let's see. Well, I don't need to say they. I could say help each other warn about predators. Okay. So, my whole book report then, in December, when I write my report, I'm thinking ahead to that part. So I'm going to write about mountains, and I could see myself just taking notes about some animals that live on the mountains, and then maybe plant life that lives on the mountains, and then maybe another part about maybe the weather regions on mountains. So I'm going to write about maybe some different animals too. But I'm going to take just lots of notes, and my notes should be very minimum. So on this note card, it's only about yellow-bellied marmots. If I want to write about, let's say, the red fox, I'm going to have a different note card, and my note card will have source number 1. It'll have something about the red fox, and then that note card will just be about the fox. I'm also asking you to write a page number, and I could see by my book that it is page 28. So, upper right-hand corner should all be source number 1. The bottom right-hand corner should be page 28. And then right here, the notes in your words, this is the paper that I'm looking at for my directions. So, let me show you another example. Here's another, example about a mink. So as you can see, I already have source number 1 in the upper right-hand corner. Mink. I understand you're writing these. You're not typing them. Mink are semi-aquatic members of the weasel family. They hunt for birds, small mammals, and amphibians, and fish along streams and rivers. The North American mink has escaped into the wild in Europe from fur farms and has sometimes pushed out the native species. So in my own words, hey, that is a Greek and or Latin root called semi-aquatic. So I know half water. So anyway, so I could say live in water sometimes because that's half. They eat birds. They eat other mammals and amphibians and fish. What else could I say about them? In my own words, the North American mink has escaped from the wild in Europe from fur farms, used for their fur, and they're invasive. I'll use my fourth grade words. Used for their fur and overtaken other animals. All right, so you don't want complete sentences on your note cards. You just want just words and phrases. Oops, I misspelled mammals. I better fix that. And don't forget, in the bottom right-hand corner, you are writing the page number, and this is from page 30. And you should have 12 of those note cards when you get done all together from source number 1. All right?